Hey, what is up guys? GuitarRock here. Welcome back to another counter site video. Alright, couple of things before we start off with today's video. There's a coupon code that you gotta use right now. So I have no idea when this coupon code is expiring, but it gives you 1000 quartz. So please use it as soon as you see this video. Alright, so hopefully share it with your friends, your guildmates, etc. So go to the manage account, enter coupon. It's called CSGBL Olfear. So yeah, as you guys can see right here, so I'm gonna claim it. And yes, that will give you 1000 quartz. That is a lot. Alright, so if you... I hope that you guys use this as soon as you can, and hopefully you guys watch the video as soon as you can. I'll try to make a community post of it as well. So let's talk about today's video in general, right? So something that I get asked a lot about right now is the raids. So if you guys are not aware, a couple of days ago, some of you guys might have noticed this, but we have inhibitor raid as opposed to the Britra raid. So let me see if I can bring up to you this one right here. So you can see one of the issue that they have during the particular patch is another new season of Britra was planned. However, due to the maintenance delay, the original raid boss setting inhibitor is confirmed to be live on the raid. So this phenomenon will be fixed after the week's maintenance, and all inhibitor points will reset to 0 to start a new Britra season. So we are supposed to get a Britra season back to back. We're not supposed to get inhibitors, so all the inhibitors are gone for the time being, right? So global, I don't think a lot of players will be able to handle the inhibitor rates. They are quite tough, and especially if you're free to play, you might not have enough characters to deal with the inhibitor rate. Now let's talk about Britra though. So if you guys are not aware, Britra is there's two separations right now. There's an awakened Britra, and then there's a Nightmare Britra, right? So the awakened Britra is like level 70, 90, and 110. But level 130 and 150 is the Nightmare Britra. Now right now, I don't think any free-to-play players in global will be able to do enough damage to the Nightmare Britra, because you're gonna need an entirely new strategy. You can't use the old strategy. You're gonna get destroyed right here. So you can see everybody in this particular category that tries to attack the Nightmare Britra, you can see they are barely doing any damage, like 774,000, 199,000, 180,000. I was barely doing about 100,000 myself as well with the old strat, right? Because everyone just dies. That Britra is way more valid hit. So my suggestion is, if you are playing on global server, try to avoid hitting the level 130 Britra. So just focus on hitting the level 110 Britra for now, because you can easily do 4 to 5 million damage easily, right? So this is my raid team alongside with all these characters that I have half built, as you can see. Easily you can use this strat and get about 4 million damage easily. So let me just jump right into it. So yeah, you guys can see this is the Britra 110. So my advice for all the global players right now for the time being, hopefully you guys just focus on the 110 and below. 110, level 90 and level 70 Britra. Do not focus on the 130 yet, because I think a lot of players will not have enough characters, strong enough characters or gears to do 130. Alright, I'm gonna let you guys, alright, that emulator thing has been happening a lot. So I think I get a lot of complaint regarding the game. It was a little bit buggy, and there's a lot of issues with the emulator if you guys play on emulator, right? For Counter-Strike in general. Keep in mind that that's not only happening in global, it's happening in C server as well, it's happening in KR server as well. This is not because of the game, but more because of the game engine that they're using, Unity engine. Apparently, all the version of the server is going through an update. They are updating the Unity engine, so therefore there's plenty of bugs that's been happening here and there. So they're trying to fix it in the meantime. So yeah, try to be patient with that. I did read that in the KR patch notes. I don't know why they didn't mention anything in the global patch notes or the C patch notes as well. They should mention that, because it's, if you play any other games in Unity engine as well, you're gonna know that that's something that's happening recently, that the Unity engine developer is trying to push out them to update to the latest version. But regardless, let's give you guys an idea or context about the Britra Nightmare. So hopefully you guys get a better idea on why it's going to be really tough to beat the Nightmare version right now in global server. Alright, so as you can see, this is my global server account, a Britra Nightmare level 150. So just to give you guys an idea, a context, the idea here is to put a bunch of tower units at the beginning. So you gotta use like a soldier tank at the beginning. You want either these particular guys, the admin Shieldman, or you can use Kang Minwoo, but that's not available in global yet. So you can see my Sigma already summoned the Daddy CEO early on, right? So this is a unit like a very high skill haze Sigma. In this case, I have 72% CDR on this particular Sigma. And then we have Awakened Jushiyun. Now, is Awakened Jushiyun crucial to this threat? Sort of, alright. He is crucial somewhat. He is needed if you want to like try to do like insane amount of damage. If you're trying to do like 10 million, 15 million, yes, Awakened Jushiyun is definitely needed. But if you're just trying to do a little bit of damage, maybe like 3 to 4 million, you don't really need him per se, because all he does is counter the boss, but the boss have the ability to suck in your units. So I want you guys to pay attention to this thing right here. So notice at the first mark, the raid boss lasts for 3 minutes, right? So if you guys are not aware, raid bosses like this usually last for 3 minutes. And you can see Britra Nightmare has this mechanic where in the first 1 minute, like from minute 3 to minute 2, you can see non-asperse attacks are more effective. So there's two things that's happening here. Britra are going to basically deal more damage towards counter units. So it's advisable to use non-counter units at the beginning. So if you are doing like if you are using a tank, make sure the tank that you use is either a soldier defender or a mech defender. So that will basically help you in this case, as you guys can see right here. It is mentioned right here, but I think some players might have missed that part. So you're gonna have a look at that mechanic a lot. So, which is why it's kind of hard for a lot of global players to be able to build that, because I think a lot of global players don't have many characters built yet. So moving on into the minute 2, alright, now we have 30 seconds until 2 minutes mark. So you can see having Leg Superior is going to be kind of good for this particular stage if you're struggling with your survivability. Because this stage is, I would say, one of the main thing is kind of survivability at the beginning as well. If you lack the gears, you know, sufficient gears enough. So notice the timer. So now we are entering 2 minutes mark. So something is going to happen right here. At the 2 minutes phase, exactly at the 2 minutes is going to mention here, mechanical weapons attacks are more effective in this case. So mechs suddenly do more damage at minute 2 and mechs are more effective. So counters are not that effective until the 1 minute mark. So you need to know that if you're trying to deploy plenty of counters going on early on, you want to deploy a lot of counters at the 1 minute mark later on. But the thing is, this particular boss is quite annoying. I think he has very big and massive valid hit as well. So which is why for this particular strategy for Britra Nightmare in C and KR that a lot of players have been using is to deploy plenty of tower units and sniper units at the beginning and just 1 or 2 tanks in the front. So in this case, Awakened Jushiyun is helping tanking, and you can see we have Awakened Seoyun, we have replaced the Queen. Those would be the long range characters, right, to hopefully hit the boss from behind. So you don't deploy any of your melee counter like Lin Xian or anything early on until the hopefully past the 1 minute mark in this particular case. And looks like Awakened Jushiyun is dying as well. I think a lot of these characters are not accessible to the global players right now. So it's going to be quite tough to perform what this is. So notice once around 1 minute mark, you can deploy Lin Xian. She will slowly move forward. And this is where you're going to notice one more threshold break right here. And counters attack are more effective from 1 minute mark onwards. So this is the Nightmare Britra mechanic. So you can hopefully tell the idea here, you know, you're trying to attack the boss and apply this mechanic at the same time in the raid arrangement as well. So it's quite crucial or to specifically, you know, arrange your units in that particular order so that you don't put counter units first, or it's not just putting a bunch of characters early on. So you gotta build some of your mech units, you gotta build some of your soldier units as well to be able to do decently against Nightmare Britra. And this is something that is a long-term goal if you're trying to play in the global server right now. If you're trying to do more damage, definitely it's going to be the long-term goal. But at the end of the day, it is a raid anyway, so you're not supposed to do it alone. You're supposed to do it alongside with your friends or your guildmates. So something for you guys to, you know, have a look at. So I'm going to show you guys my C server deployment lineup so you guys get a better idea. So as you can see, in this particular one, the damage is not consistent sometimes. Of course, sometimes I get a little bit more, sometimes I get a little bit less. This one I managed to do about 9.115 million. Alright, 9,115,198. This is a level 115 Nightmare. So let's show you guys the strat. So this is the one, right? So I have Kim Hana. Again, you can see Kim Hana very useful for the deployment. And then I purposely put 3 tower units first. We have Sigma, of course, Maria for the buffs, and Choi Ina for the deployment resource thing. And of course the fat guy here. immediately afterward just to tank, and then you want to put like a ranger to a supporter early on, Skylay Field in this case, right? So to help out with the Kim Hana, what do you call this, deployment that gives you +1. And then we went with Jo Shi-yoon. I think my face cam might be blocking some of the characters, let me turn it off. Followed by Lyudmila, Replacer Queen, Kestrel Xiaolin, Choi Ji-hoon, a bunch of snipers here to hopefully, you know, hit the boss from afar without taking much hits. And Awakened Seohyun do have enough range to be able to do this as well. This is one of the few areas or scenarios where Awakened Seohyun is kind of good at. Alright, the Britra Nightmare Raid. And then you can see Lucretia, Dash is also another sniper, Arius, Lin Xian, Yang Harem, Estarossa, Roy Burnett, all these will be deployed later. And I have Orca, Chifuyu, and Lonely alongside with Seohyun at the end. Alright, this is to buff the units, Seohyun and Shinja, and Hilde. Alright, so just to give you guys a context, like a lot of these characters unfortunately are not available yet in global. So right now I think the Nightmare Britra is going to be a big pain in the butt for a lot of players. So what you can do, right, I think this is something that some players suggest as well, is to downgrade your branch. So hopefully that way you don't really get the Nightmare Britra. Now, if you don't know how to do it, basically if you have a branch level 6, alright, you might have upgraded this particular thing, the Phase Coordinates Amplifier. So mine is still level 5, but I think some of you guys might have up to level 6 already. This one only generates up to level 110 rates, but if you up this up to level 3, you can always reset this, remove facility, right? And it costs nothing, it costs 0 gold, and then just add it back right here, and then try and, you know, not level it up to level 3. Alright, only level it up to level 2, so you only get up to 110 rates, you don't get the level 130. Global are getting the latest updates for everything. So which is why this sort of issue happened as well. You guys don't have the characters needed to do the Nightmare Britra. Britra has been reworked I think twice. Last time in C server we got a different version and he's like slightly weaker and stuff. So if you guys find the video helpful, make sure to share it, you know, with your friends or whoever that's playing the game, you know, your guildmates and stuff, so hopefully they know as well. Because especially your guildmates, you're gonna have raids from them. You ideally want the level 90 and 110 so that you can defeat them together, not the level 130 that nobody can beat right now. Okay, so subscribe if you haven't already, give this video a like, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a nice day. Goodbye.